So let's get into it. I want to set the table around the sales strategies that Mortgage Coach was founded on. I mean, as we close the year out, my goal with everybody on the team is to, it's to review what we know we should be doing and to get focused on the actions and the habits to have just make 2015 awesome. So when you think of Mortgage Coach, I mean, the name of the company is Wow Tools. It was born from the concept that when I was a top loan officer and I had my breakthrough, that came when I really realized that if I could systematically, consistently surpass people's expectations at the point of sale and then continue to do that throughout the experience they had with me, I'd be really successful. So that's our philosophy. And when you think about going from price to advice, there's really three key components of the wow selling process. There's, some people call it discovery. The challenger sales process calls this tailoring. I'm just born a very curious person. I mean, ask my family, we go on a vacation, and first thing I got to go do is explore. So I'm just born with, insatiable natural curiosity. But I find that the best salespeople, they have that same curiosity. They're asking questions, they're listening, they're actually learning, and they're emotionally connecting. So I've never interviewed a top loan officer that doesn't do this in a very, whether it's natural or whether it's intentional, at a very intense and quality way. Josh, you agree with that?
100%.
So when you think about going from price to advice, you can't just jump to advice. You've got to have curiosity. You've got to really go deep with people. And we all know that at the end of the day, every successful loan officer out there is a value creator. Here at Mortgage Coach, we believe in doing that through advice. So when I think of advice and the components, think of it as a sandbox. In the corners of advice, you have insights. Again, not information, but insights. It's got to be personalized. Again, our belief system is it's got to be visually excellent, and it's got to be shareable. In today's world of mobile, video, social, if your advice is not shareable, you're missing a huge opportunity. So when you really net out today's call, this is the belief that Josh and I share, and this is the belief that's got him to where he's a power user, a Mortgage Coach, is that the single biggest incremental opportunity to get more loans and more referrals from partners and prospects isn't your service or your loan programs, but the quality of the insight you deliver as part of your sales experience. Now that is a big statement right there. It's one of those things where you've got to say it like 4 times just to understand the value and the meaning of it. So Josh, we're going to get into it. Anything you want to add to that philosophy and that process before we really start unpacking how you've gone from price to advice in a teachable way?
Well, one thing that when you were talking about your point in your career where you went to focusing on exceeding expectations from the point of sale to closing, and when I think about that in my practice, what I'm trying to build is a different experience. So you and I were just talking about going and visiting the Four Seasons Hotel in Santa Barbara. And what I can tell you about that is when I can visualize what that lobby is going to feel like when I walk in. I've been there before. I know what it's going to smell like. I know how the lights are going to be trimmed. I know how the art is going to be. I know that they're going to have an open ambiance. And you're going to walk in and you're going to feel like you're at the Four Seasons. You're going to know for sure you're not at the Hampton. And that's one of the things that we really try and create as an experience in our mortgage team. And so when you were talking about exceeding expectations, you have to do it right from the onset. It's, from the way you answer the phone or have a secretary answer the phone, to the way you listen and probe and ask questions, to the way that you craft a solution, present a solution, and I know we'll get into this a little more, but then maybe challenge that client on what their preconceived notions are. So just the importance of, and the way that I've learned to do that, thanks to you, a major tool has been Edge, and you're getting a communication. If you enter into our environment as a client, the experience that you're going to have is as different from most as it is walking into the Four Seasons or walking into the Hampton Inn. So we're really clear on what we're trying to communicate and how we're trying to control the client experience. So I think you moved quickly over that point where your career exploded when you went to exceeding expectations from the point of sale to closing, but I couldn't agree with you more. You've got to control the smell, the feel, the client experience from the very, very start of the transaction and the way you present information.
Beautiful. So let's start unpacking this in a teachable way. One concept I want to hit from what you just said is, first of all, I mean, the Four Seasons is incredibly successful, but by the way, so is the Hampton Inn. And there are loan officers in markets, or just who you are and how you connect with people, whatever it is. My only message to everybody is be intentional about your strategy. Mortgage Coach is not just about delivering a high-end Four Seasons experience. It's about delivering your experience. You've got a personality, you've got a market, you've got a type of product that you do in your market, and it's about just bringing your personal authenticity, your personal brand, and bringing it to your customers in a way that's tangible. The last piece of the process, which I didn't spend a lot of time on this call around, I'd say it's a different call, but the best loan officers do all three of these things. They have curiosity, they deliver advice, and then they have leadership. You know, I don't know if everybody caught it when Josh talked about when I'm taking someone through a sales process. And I don't know if everybody caught it, that even when he gets that alert, if he's too busy, he's delegating it to someone. You know, all the best, they keep a sense of urgency in the deal. They are proactive. They are just totally committed to being unique in the way that they deliver value. And then, you know, you hear it, if you didn't catch it when you heard Josh talk about how passionate he is about challenging people, he's not afraid of having constructive tension with a client. And so these are the things that really distinguish average loan officers from just great loan officers, is they're not, and by the way, they're not just doing, you know, 2 out of 4 of these things. They're doing all 4 of these things. And by the way, they're not just doing this one day out of the week. It's like every client, every day, every hour, you're driving unique value, you're being proactive, you're driving urgency, and you're never afraid of having constructive tension. So you really deliver on this quote that I started the whole call around. You have to believe this, that the single biggest opportunity for you to be more successful than you are today, it's the quality of the insight you deliver as part of your sales experience.